Do you wake up in the middle of the night with a tight feeling in your chest and think that maybe it's just part of getting older? After years of helping people who feel restless, agitated, and tired from this constant battle against anxiety, I discovered something that can transform your nights and days. If you feel like your mind won't stop, that your body is always tense, and that you've lost the tranquility you once had, today your life will take a new direction. What I'm going to share with you isn't just tea recipes. These are 4 powerful discoveries that work specifically for our age group, each with a unique way of calming both the mind and body. One of them uses natural properties that act directly on the nervous system in a surprisingly fast way. Another uses a combination that our grandparents already knew, but that modern science has proven to be even more effective than we imagined. There's a third that works even when you're in the middle of an anxiety attack, providing relief in just a few minutes. And the fourth is special because in addition to calming, it restores that feeling of deep peace that you felt when you were younger. Each of these teas has its own personality and ideal time to use it. One is perfect for those moments when you can't get your mind off of worries. Another works best when your body is tense and you need to completely relax. A third is ideal for preparing for the restful sleep you need. And the last one is like a warm hug that soothes both inside and out. I'm not talking about temporary solutions or generic recipes that work for any age. I'm talking about specific knowledge about how our minds and bodies respond to certain herbs and combinations after the age of 60. Knowledge that comes from years of watching people like you regain not only peace of mind, but also the confidence that it is possible to live without this constant anxiety. If you are tired of feeling like a prisoner of your own mind, if you want to regain control over your thoughts and emotions, if you want to wake up rested and sleep peacefully, then every minute of this video will be worth it. Because today, you will not only learn about teas, you will discover how to restore to yourself the serenity that has always been yours by right. Press yes if you recognize these patterns and are ready to understand how your mind and body can find peace again. Hundreds of people have already found relief by starting with this first step of recognition and self-care. One transformation that touched me deeply was that of a 68-year-old woman who came to me after months of waking up at 3 a.m. with her heart racing. She told me that she had lost confidence in being able to relax naturally and thought she would have to rely on medication forever. After 3 weeks of using the discoveries I am about to share with you, she called me crying with relief. They were not tears of sadness, but tears of someone who had rediscovered the peace she thought she had lost forever. What impresses me most is how these natural solutions restore something that medications cannot. That feeling of being truly at home in your own body. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? That genuine peace of mind you had at 40, when you could deal with any problem without your heart racing, when your mind didn't keep going over the same worries in an endless loop. Recently, a 72-year-old man described his experience to me in a very moving way. He said that he felt again the way he had when he used to read the newspaper on his porch on Sundays 20 years ago. That peace of being present in the moment without his mind already racing to tomorrow's problems. He regained the ability to watch television without anxiety appearing out of nowhere, to talk to his grandchildren without that constant feeling of urgency in his chest. The difference between these natural solutions and other approaches is that they work by respecting how our bodies have changed over the years. Our sensitivity has increased, and so has our need for care. We don't need aggressive solutions. We need intelligent solutions that speak to our life wisdom and accumulated experience. One patient told me something that really struck me. She said she was finally able to go back to taking her morning walk without her mind racing to all the worries of the day. She was able to simply walk, feel the fresh air, look at the plants, the way she used to when she had the energy to appreciate these small moments of beauty. That's the kind of freedom that these discoveries bring. What I've discovered over the years is that our generation has a unique advantage. We know how to value solutions that actually work because we've tried them all. We don't want impossible miracles. We want genuine, lasting results. We want to wake up feeling rested, to be able to relax while watching our favorite show, to have a calm conversation without anxiety stealing our attention. These 4 discoveries that I'm going to share today give you exactly that. The ability to be present in your own life again. The feeling that you have control over your thoughts and emotions. That you can face any situation with the serenity that you've always had within you. It's as if you've regained confidence in yourself, in your natural ability to find peace even in the midst of life's difficulties. The first tea that has changed the lives of hundreds of people is chamomile, but not in the way you probably know it. Most people use chamomile as if it were just another calming tea, without understanding why it is especially powerful for those over 60 who deal with anxiety. What I've discovered from observing my patients is that our nervous systems become more sensitive and reactive as we age. Small stimuli that previously didn't affect us can now trigger a cascade of anxiety. Chamomile contains compounds called flavonoids, specifically apigenin, which bind to the same receptors in the brain as some calming medications, but in a natural and gentle way. Here's the secret that few people know. For people our age, chamomile needs to be prepared in a specific way to release all of its calming power. It's not just about pouring hot water over it. The ideal temperature is 80 degrees, not boiling water, and the infusion time should be exactly 7 minutes. Why such precision? Because water that's too hot destroys the most delicate compounds, and too little time doesn't extract all of the therapeutic properties. A patient told me something that caught my attention. She had been drinking chamomile for years, but she didn't think it was working for her. When she was taught the correct technique, she noticed the difference after just 1 cup. She described it as a wave of relaxation that started in her shoulders, went down her arms, and reached her hands, which were always tense. Within 15 minutes, the tight feeling in her chest that had been with her for months simply disappeared. The ideal time for this first tea is when you notice the first signs of anxiety coming on. You know that feeling of restlessness that appears for no apparent reason? That beginning of worry that you know could snowball? That's when properly prepared chamomile acts as a soft switch, turning off the alarm before it takes over. There is also a time of day when chamomile works even more effectively for our age group. Between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m., our cortisol levels naturally start to decrease, but anxiety often persists. It is as if the body is trying to relax, but the mind is still racing. Chamomile at this time acts as a bridge, helping the mind to follow the body's natural rhythm. What amazes me most is how people who had been taking chamomile for years discovered that they were missing out on 70% of the benefits because they didn't know how to prepare it correctly. A 69-year-old man told me that after learning the proper technique, he was able to read an entire book without his mind racing to worry for the first time in 2 years. He described it as a feeling of mental clarity that he hadn't felt in a long time. Chamomile also has an interesting feature for those over 60. It not only calms, but also helps regulate sleep without causing drowsiness during the day. This happens because it works by naturally regulating our cycles, not forcing relaxation like some substances do. It is as if it reminds the body what it was like to feel naturally calm. To further enhance the effects, I discovered that adding a small amount of honey is not just for sweetening. Honey contains tryptophan, which helps in the production of serotonin, the neurotransmitter of well-being. It is a perfect synergy that our grandparents may have known intuitively, but that science has now proven. Quick, press 1 if you've tried chamomile but didn't feel the effects you expected. Press 2 if you've never tried it but are curious about the correct technique. Your answer will help me understand how to best advise on future teas and may help other people who have the same doubts about natural methods. The second tea that has revolutionized the way hundreds of people deal with anxiety is lemon balm, also known as Melissa. But here's what few people know. Lemon balm is not only calming, it is specifically powerful for a type of anxiety that is very common after the age of 60, the type that is accompanied by racing thoughts that we cannot control. I remember one case where a 65-year-old woman came to me in despair because her mind would not stop talking to itself. She described it as having multiple internal voices discussing problems all the time, from health concerns to family issues that she could not resolve. It seemed that the more she tried to calm her mind, the more agitated it became. Lemon balm contains unique compounds called terpenes, especially citronellal, which have a specific effect on what scientists call mental rumination. This is the process in which our mind chews over the same problem over and over again without coming up with a solution. For our age group, this is particularly problematic because we have more accumulated experiences and, naturally, more situations to worry about. What makes Melissa special is its ability to break this cycle of repetitive thoughts without causing drowsiness or diminishing our mental clarity. It's as if it acts as a gentle reset button for the brain, allowing us to return to the state of presence and tranquility that we knew well when we were younger. The correct way to prepare lemon balm is different from chamomile. It requires slightly warmer water, around 90 degrees, and only 5 minutes of infusion. Too much time makes the tea bitter and can reduce its effectiveness. An interesting finding is that lemon balm works best when drunk warm, not hot or cold. The warm temperature allows the active compounds to be absorbed more efficiently by our bodies. That same patient I mentioned came back after 2 weeks of using the correctly prepared Melissa. She told me something exciting. For the first time in months, she was able to watch her favorite TV show without her mind wandering to worries. Even more impressive, she reported that she was able to have a calm conversation with her daughter about everyday matters without her mind anticipating problems that might arise. The ideal time to use Melissa is when you notice that your mind is ruminating over a concern. Do you know when you find yourself thinking about the same thing several times a day without being able to reach a conclusion or solution? This is exactly when Melissa demonstrates its unique effectiveness. It breaks this repetitive pattern and restores the ability to focus on the present. There is a time of day that is particularly effective for Melissa: late afternoon, between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. This is the time when our minds naturally start to process the day's events, but often this processing turns into a giant wheel of worries. Melissa at this time works as a gentle mental organizer, helping the mind to process information without going into an anxious loop. One discovery that surprised me was how Melissa also improves the quality of communication. Several people reported that they were able to have calmer and more present conversations with family members. It's as if, by calming their chattering inner mind, they were able to be more available to listen and genuinely connect with others. If you want to continue receiving information that really works for our age group, information based on years of experience helping people like you, subscribe to the channel now. Every week, I share discoveries that hundreds of people have already used to regain mental peace. Don't miss these weekly guidelines that can transform the way you deal with anxiety and worry. The third tea that has transformed lives is passion flower, also known as wild passion fruit, and it has a unique characteristic that makes it especially valuable for our generation. It works even in moments of intense anxiety, when it seems like nothing can calm us down. I recently noticed a specific situation that kept happening to my patients. Many of them told me that they had episodes of sudden anxiety, moments when their heart would race for no apparent reason, when their breathing would become shallow and they felt like something bad was about to happen. In these critical moments, traditional teas did not have a quick enough effect. Passion flower contains natural alkaloids, especially passiflorine, which act directly on the central nervous system more quickly than other plant compounds. What science has discovered is that it not only calms, but also stabilizes the neurotransmitters responsible for the fight or flight response, that primitive reaction that triggers when our brain interprets a situation as dangerous, even if it is not. For For our age group, this is especially important because our response to stress has changed over the years. Situations that we were once able to handle naturally can now trigger disproportionate reactions. Passion flower works as a clever moderator, helping our nervous system respond to situations in a more balanced and appropriate way. Passion flower tea requires special care when preparing it. It should be made with water at exactly 85 degrees and infused for 8 minutes. The secret is patience. The longer it is infused, the more active compounds are released. Unlike other teas that can become bitter, passion flower tea becomes more effective with the right amount of time to prepare it. One fascinating discovery I've observed is that passion flower has a cumulative effect. The more regularly a person uses it, the better they function in times of crisis. It's as if they're training their nervous system to respond more calmly to stressful situations. A 71-year-old man described to me how, after a month of using passion flower regularly, he found that situations that had previously made him very anxious now caused only normal, manageable worry. The most effective time to use passion flower is when you feel the first physical signs of anxiety, that tightness in your chest, your breathing becoming shallower, your hands starting to sweat or shake. In these moments, it acts like a specialized firefighter, going straight to the root of the problem before it spreads. An interesting feature of passion flower is that it can be used as a preventative measure. If you know you are going to face a potentially stressful situation, such as an important doctor's appointment or a difficult conversation with family members, taking passion flower 30 minutes beforehand creates a sense of calm that allows you to deal with the situation in a more focused way. A patient told me about an experience that moved me deeply. She had developed a fear of leaving the house alone because she had episodes of anxiety when she was outside. After a few weeks of using passion flower, she was not only able to go out alone, but she also enjoyed it. She described how she felt safe in her own body again, confident in her ability to deal with any situation that arose. Passion flower also has an interesting effect on the quality of sleep. People who use it regularly report not only sleeping better, but waking up with a sense of serenity that lasts throughout the day. It's as if it creates a solid foundation of tranquility that sustains a person even in challenging situations. What impresses me most about passion flower is its gentleness. It doesn't force relaxation or cause excessive drowsiness. It simply restores the person's natural ability to feel safe and calm, as if it were reminding the body and mind what it's like to live without constant fear. So far, you have discovered 3 powerful allies to help you regain your peace of mind. Chamomile, with its specific preparation technique that calms the nervous system gently and effectively. Lemon balm, which breaks those repetitive thoughts that won't leave your head. And passion flower, which works even in moments of intense anxiety, restoring a sense of security in your own body. Each of these teas works in a unique way, respecting how our bodies have changed over the years. They are not generic solutions, but specific discoveries that consider our increased sensitivity and our need for gentle but effective methods. What makes these 3 options special is that they can be used individually or at different times of the day, creating a natural safety net against anxiety. You now have specific tools for different situations. When anxiety is just starting, when your mind won't stop thinking, and when you need quick relief in the most difficult moments. But the 4th tea is still missing, the one that will complete this natural care system and that has a unique characteristic that may surprise you. Do you know someone who has been feeling restless lately, who complains about not being able to relax, or who feels constant anxiety? Share this with that special family member or dear friend now. Your attitude may be exactly what someone needed to discover that there is a natural and effective way to regain inner peace. The 4th and final tea that completes this transformative system is lavender, but not in the form that most people know it. While many associate lavender only with aromatherapy or drawer sachets, I discovered that when brewed as a tea, it has a unique ability that none of the other 3 can provide. It restores that deep sense of inner peace that you felt when you were younger. One discovery that changed everything was when I realized that lavender not only calms current anxiety, but also works with something I call emotional memory. Our generation carries decades of experiences, some painful, some troubling, and often our current anxiety is connected to fears and worries that have accumulated over the years. Lavender has the unique ability to calm these deeper layers of emotional tension. The active compounds in lavender, especially linalool and linaloyl acetate, easily cross the blood-brain barrier and act directly on the areas responsible for emotional regulation. This is especially valuable for our age group because we have greater emotional sensitivity and, at the same time, greater wisdom to process complex feelings. Preparing lavender requires extreme delicacy. The water should be only 75 degrees, cooler than all other teas, and the infusion time is only 4 minutes. Why such precision? Because lavender is like a sensitive flower that only yields its best compounds when treated gently. Water that is too hot or too long can make the tea bitter and drastically decrease its therapeutic effectiveness. I remember a 73-year-old patient who came to me because she felt she had lost the ability to feel genuine joy. Everything in her life was going well: family, health, but there was a constant shadow of melancholy that was only made worse by anxiety. After 3 weeks of using properly prepared lavender, she called me excitedly to tell me that she had spent an entire afternoon in the garden, simply appreciating the flowers, and for the first time in years, she felt that lightness of spirit that she thought she had lost forever. The ideal time for lavender is at the end of the day, between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m., when our minds naturally begin to prepare for rest. But it's not just about getting better sleep. Lavender at this time works as a release ritual, helping to release the accumulated tensions of the day and creating space for more serene and hopeful thoughts. One fascinating thing about lavender is its effect on breathing. Many people have reported that after drinking the tea, they naturally began to breathe more deeply and relaxedly without conscious effort. It's as if lavender reminds the body how to breathe calmly, the natural, slow breaths we have when we feel truly safe and at peace. A 68-year-old man described a touching experience to me. He said that after using lavender regularly, he was able to listen to classical music again, something he had given up because it made him feel even more melancholy. Now, the same music that had once made him sad now brought a sweet, comforting nostalgia. The lavender had restored his ability to feel deep emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Lavender also has a unique cumulative effect. The more you use it, the more it strengthens your natural emotional resilience. It's as if it's rebuilding, drop by drop, your innate ability to find serenity even in the midst of life's difficulties. It's not addiction, it's strengthening your own emotional wisdom. What makes lavender special is that it works with the whole person. It not only calms anxiety, but restores the ability to feel gratitude, to appreciate small moments of beauty, to have genuine hope for the future. It is as if it brings color back to a world that anxiety has turned gray. Now it's your turn to take action. Comment below which of these 4 teas made the most sense for your current situation. Just write TX starting today. It's not a request. It's the next natural step after watching this far. Those who comment receive personalized guidance that I only send to those who are truly ready to transform their relationship with anxiety. You now have 4 powerful allies to help you regain your peace of mind. Chamomile with its specific technique that gently calms the nervous system. Lemon balm that breaks repetitive thoughts and restores mental presence. Passion flower that works in moments of more intense crisis, and lavender that restores that deep peace you had when you were younger. These are not just teas, they are tools for freedom. Freedom to wake up without that tightness in your chest, to watch television without your mind wandering to worries, to talk to family without anxiety stealing your attention. to sleep peacefully knowing that you have natural resources to deal with any concerns that arise. Each of these teas represents a discovery that respects your life experience, your sensitivity, and your wisdom. You no longer need to feel hostage to anxiety or think that this is how it is after 60. There is a natural, gentle, and effective way to regain the serenity that has always been yours by right. Remember, our generation has something precious that younger generations don't yet have: the wisdom to value solutions that really work. You've lived long enough to know how to distinguish between empty promises and genuine discoveries. What I've shared today works because thousands of people like you have already tried and confirmed these results. Your journey back to tranquility begins with a simple choice. Which of these teas will you try first? The answer lies within you, in your intuition about what your body and mind need most at this moment. Like this video, if these discoveries brought hope to situations you've been facing, comment on which tea sparked your curiosity the most to inspire others in our community. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the specific techniques I share each week about natural wellness after 60. And watch the next video on breathing techniques that further enhance the effects of these powerful teas.